that the Bitcoin rise has anything to do with the belief in the blockchain.
Okay.
It simply has to do with the belief in cryptocurrencies. I mean, once you start using cryptocurrencies, whether it's Bitcoin or Monero or Litecoin, it doesn't really matter. You see the facility. You see the ease of use. You see that without a central bank control, the value of that currency depends upon the users of that currency. And why is Bitcoin growing so fast? Because it's getting more users. More people are believing. If I do a transaction with a credit card, I have to put in my name, my address, my credit card number, the code on the back, my billing address. Well, that takes 5 or 10 minutes, especially for someone my age. But with Bitcoin, it's 15 seconds. Give me your wallet address, here's the amount, done. Once you see the facility of cryptocurrencies, once you see how fast they are transacted, then suddenly fiat currencies, credit cards, central banks make no sense whatsoever.
Maybe it's too easy, though, John.
The question we now have to ask is if, technologically, it is possible to make an impenetrable device or system where the encryption is so strong that there's no key, there's no door at all, then how do we apprehend the child pornographer? How do we solve or disrupt a terrorist plot? What mechanisms do we have available to even do simple things like tax enforcement? Because if, in fact, you can't crack that at all, government can't get in, then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank.
Our question is, what do you think about the future of the Bitcoin?
Of the future of the Bitcoin?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what my brother is learning and doing and trading. So, yeah, please.
Okay. The question about the Bitcoin, honestly, I'm not that big fan of Bitcoins. But I pay special attention to the cashless society, blockchain technology. Bitcoin, the thing I want to know is that what value, what things that the Bitcoin can bring to the society. But behind the Bitcoin, the technology itself, really very powerful. So my job and Alibaba Alipay's job is trying to making sure that we will move, the world will move into a cashless society. The society can make everybody equal, make everybody inclusive to get the money they need, and making sure it's sustainable, inclusive, and transparent. I hate corruption. I don't have opportunity, it's okay. But I don't want somebody through dirty way take away my opportunity. This is why we want a cashless society. But Bitcoin, we watch it very carefully. I will not say I'm a fan of Bitcoins. I'm always also as curious as you are. And I don't think I'm expert on that. I don't pretend I know. There's one thing that I want to share with all of you one day when you do business or do whatever. If you don't know, it's not shameful. But if you don't know, but you pretend you know, it is very shameful. I don't know about Bitcoins.
The need to move money from place to place, the cost of doing so, the overhead, as you put it, makes me think, believe it or not, of Bitcoin, because some people have said, hey, Bitcoin is the answer to those problems. Are you a believer?
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And, of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. The customers we're talking about aren't trying to be anonymous. You know, they're willing to be known. So the Bitcoin technology is key, and you could add to it, or you could build a similar technology where there's enough attribution that people feel comfortable. This has nothing to do with terrorism or any type of money laundering.
I read a recent report where millennials, the majority of them, have less than $1,000 in their bank accounts. So, you know, it's amazing. A lot of my friends are millennials, and they've never cared about investing, but all of a sudden they are crazy about it with Bitcoin, with the cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Hasn't that changed the landscape
Bitcoin
here?
to me is not a currency, it's an asset. People debate it all the time,
Right.
and I don't know if Bitcoin's the one that survives or some of the other ones happen. The point is, that is interesting, the fact that they would understand I can buy an asset, I can watch its value change, and I can somehow take value and park it in some place where I don't spend it, where I invest it for the future. Because the great thing about, you know, I'm not sure Bitcoins is a great long-term investment because I don't know what's going to happen to it, but I do know a company that makes free cash flow that pays you a dividend every quarter. To me, that is a good idea.
I know you love your dividend.
I love my dividends because my mother used to say to me, never spend the principal, only the interest. So I can invest in an Apple or Microsoft and get paid every 3 months, and I can buy a pair of shoes with that.
Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill. Okay? We are entering a completely world of uncharted water right now.
Have you made any investments in Bitcoin?
So, I mean, I personally, I own Bitcoin in my hedge fund. I own Bitcoin in my fund. I own Bitcoin in my private account. It is a huge deal. It's a huge, huge, huge deal. Because what you're talking about right now is for the next 3 to 5 years, an unbelievably better store of value. It is gold 2.0.
Bitcoin, there is no Bitcoin company. There is no Bitcoin building. There's not even a Bitcoin server anywhere that you could shut down. It is completely distributed. That's what's unique about Bitcoin. It is, for the first time, a way for the two of us to exchange value online without a third-party intermediary. Until the invention of Bitcoin, for you and me to exchange money online, we had to employ a third party, like PayPal, like Visa, like MasterCard, right? And we live in the 21st century. If we want to have a video call to China, we can do that for free. But to send a couple $100, which is essentially just ones and zeros being moved around, costs 5% plus takes over